Hello dear students, I am Dr. Shikha Pandey, Associate Professor from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today I am going to discuss about the leachate collection and its treatment. So leachate is collecting from the landfills. So first of all, we'll discuss about the landfill, what are the landfill and how this landfill has been developed. So basically landfill is just a physical facility, just a physical unit that will be provided for the disposal of residual solid waste from the MSW on the surface of the earth only. So landfilling is the process by which the solid waste is placed in the landfills, and then landfilling will include monitoring of the incoming waste stream, then its placement and compaction of waste, and installation of landfill environmental monitoring and facility. So this is the basic introduction about the landfill, what is the landfill and how this landfill has been made. So landfill is an engineered physical facility that should be used for the disposal of some residual waste, some municipal solid waste on the surface of the earth, and it will be processed by which the residual solid waste is placed on the landfill. So what are the landfill gas? Why this leachate collection and this landfill gas will be there? So landfill gas are the gas. In the landfill, what happens? Some organic materials are there, like some wet waste, like some vegetable, kitchen or yard waste. So usually they are compacted, and when they put in the landfill, obviously I have discussed like this, in the landfill we will compact the waste, and by compaction then only we'll keep the waste. So after many times, what happen, after many days, this organic waste will be during the compaction of the waste, like wet waste will be compacted and they will be put in the landfill. So what is the wet waste? Wet waste, that is vegetable, kitchen and yards. So problem is that it removes oxygen and causes the material breakdown anaerobically. Obviously compaction will be there. Due to the compaction, oxygen will be removed. So the condition will be make like a absence of oxygen. See, this is a solid waste that will be wet in nature, wet waste. This will be compacted. This will be put in the compacted mode. Compacted waste will be there. So this will be compacted. So due to compaction, absence of oxygen will be there. Absence of oxygen. So absence of oxygen will causes the material to break down anaerobic. Then an aerobic condition can be take place. An aerobic condition will be there. So and microbial activity will start. Microbial activities will start. So, and then over time, this process will going to produce methane. Methane is the type of greenhouse gas which is 28 times more potent than CO2. So, all this process will lead to the production of methane and CO2. Methane is the greenhouse gas, GHG, which is having 28 times more potent than CO2. So this is the whole picturization of landfill gas, how this landfill gas will be originated. So what happened in the landfill, we will put some wet waste like some vegetable waste, yard trimming waste in a compacted way onto the landfill. So due to the compaction, some absence of oxygen condition will be created inside the cell, inside the waste. So no oxygen will be there, then degradation will be starts. So this anaerobic digestion will take place at this place, and this anaerobic digestion will causes the microbial activity will going to break down the waste, will going to break down the organic material from the waste. So by all these activity, two gas has been originating. These two gas is called as methane and carbon dioxide. Methane is both of these gases are the very dangerous greenhouse gases, and methane is 28 times more dangerous than the carbon dioxide. Methane is more potent greenhouse gas when we compare it with the carbon dioxide. That's why this landfill gases is a more point of concern for this landfill whole process, because inside landfill anaerobic condition will be created, and that anaerobic condition will leads to the production of methane gas. So, see, this is the composition of landfill gas. So, landfill gas is composed of a mixture of 100 of different gases, like by volume typically contain 45% to 60% methane and 40 to 60% of carbon. Only two gases there, CO2 and methane. You can see this is in the picture. Methane and CO2 is coming from the landfill side because of a decaying of the organic waste from kitchen waste, from farm waste, garden waste, restaurants, all these waste. Okay, so landfill also includes some small amount of nitrogen, oxygen, ammonia, sulfide, hydrogen, carbon monoxide, and non-methane organic compounds like trichloroethylene, benzene, and vinyl chloride. So these gases is all also there, but the more important gas is the CO2 and CH4, and both the gas is the GHG, greenhouse gas, and the greenhouse gas will contribute toward the climate change, will contribute toward the global warming. And already some gases are there, but the chief gases are the carbon dioxide and methane. So what happened? Which type of reaction will occur in the landfill? So this two type of gases will be formed. So bacterial decomposition, first by the process of bacterial decomposition. Bacterial activity will causes the most landfill gas is produced by bacterial decomposition, which occurs when organic waste is broken down by bacteria naturally present in the waste and in the soil, which is used to cover the landfill. So the landfill gas is produced by some bacterial decomposition that occurs when the organic waste is broken down by bacteria naturally present in the waste and in the soil that will use to cover the landfill. Next is the volatilization. In volatilization, what happens? The landfill gas is there that will be created when certain waste, particularly some organic waste, change from liquid to solid into a vapor. So what happens? Solid to liquid, then from liquid to vapor. It will be changed. If some gases will be changed its phase from solid gas to liquid, then from liquid to the vapor. So this process is called as volatilization. Volatilization will involve the changing the landfill gases phase from solid to liquid and then liquid to vapors. Next, some chemical reaction. Chemical reaction will include landfill gas like NMOC can be created by the reaction of certain chemicals present in the waste. It will be created by some of the reaction chemical present in the waste. For example, if chlorine bleaches and ammonia come into contact with each other within the landfill, a very harmful gas will be produced. So what happened? Very low molecular organic compounds are there. So this compound is called as chlorine. So if chlorine will be bleach and ammonia comes in contact with each other within the landfill, see, chlorine plus ammonia, NH3, these two will come in contact with each other, then ClHNO3, these gas will be formed. This is again a very harmful gas in the landfill. So the reaction which is occurring inside a landfill is the most point of concern, because what happened in the landfill, anaerobic condition will be created. This anaerobic condition will lead toward the production of greenhouse gases, many harmful gases. So that's why the monitoring of gases, temperature management, and the burning of this waste should be very important. This is the reaction occurring in the landfill. In landfill, what happens? Complex polymers are there that will be coming from the organic waste. From the organic waste, complex polymer will be there. So this complex polymer is the cellulose, other polysaccharides and proteins will be there. So cellulitic and other hydrolytic bacteria will be there. And first step is the hydrolysis. Hydrolysis process will involve the formation of monomers, small unit of these polymers. First of all, during the hydrolysis process, the complex like cellulose will break down into its smaller unit. So this smaller unit is called as amino acid. Okay, so what happened in the organic waste, some complex polymers will be there. That complex polymer are the cellulose and some polysaccharide and protein. Then in the hydrolysis reaction, this will be broke down into its smaller unit by some cellulitic and hydrolytic bacteria. That smaller unit is called as sugars and amino acid. Next, what happened? It will go for the acetate, and the fermentative bacteria, the fermentation step will be there, and in the fermentation step, fermentative bacteria are there. So that bacteria will be able to survive and it can be works under the absence of oxygen condition. So this smaller unit can be converted to the acetate. Then again what happened here again? Homoacetogenesis and some volatile fatty acid. Volatile fatty acid will be formed. Here you can see this. So after then again what happens? Fermentation process will again happens and the hydrogen producing volatile fatty acid oxidizing bacteria are there. They are again going to produce hydrogen and CO2 and some acetate. Here again acetate will be there and all will mix and form methane. So by the reaction of the methanogens, all will mix and form a gas which is called as methane. So acetogenesis and fermentation process, all process will leads toward the formation of a gas which is called as methane. So this is the typical phase of landfill gas and leachate. First of all, in phase 1 what happened? No such reaction will take place. Phase 2 is okay. Then after that what happened? You can see that hydrogen, COD, nitrogen all are going to be happen. On phase 4, methane and carbon dioxide will be there. This will be involved hydrolysis process. Then this will be acetogenesis process. Then this is the final stage where oxygen will be coming out, oxygen and H2 will be coming out from the landfill. So this is the typical phase of landfill gases and leachate generation. You can see that the chief gas, the important gas that is formed by the process is the methane and carbon dioxide only. In phase 1, what happened? During the first phase of the landfill, aerobic bacteria, like bacteria that live in the presence of oxygen, aerobic bacteria will be there in the presence of oxygen. They consume oxygen while breaking down the long molecular chain of complex carbohydrate, protein and lipid into comprises organic waste like carbohydrate, protein, lipids, all breaks into the smaller unit. So aerobic bacteria, in the presence of oxygen, the carbohydrate, protein, lipids all broken down into a smaller unit. Next, in the phase 2, decomposition. Phase 2 is decomposition start after the oxygen in the landfill has been used up. When the whole oxygen has been used up in the phase 1. So this will be like anaerobic phase. This will be like anaerobic phase and this will be like aerobic phase. So it will be starts when all the oxygen has been used up, and so in this way this is the anaerobic process that does not require oxygen. Bacteria converts the compounds created by aerobic bacteria into acetic acid, lactic acid and formic acid and alcohol such as methanol and ethanol. So phase 1 is the aerobic phase, phase 2 is the anaerobic phase. All the oxygen that is already present in the landfill has been utilized during the phase 1 only. So in the phase 2, this reaction will happens completely in the absence of oxygen. That's why this is called as anaerobic reaction. And here what happened? The bacteria converts the compounds that will be created during the aerobic bacteria like acetic acid, lactic acid and formic acid, and alcohol like methanol and ethanol. Now comes to the phase 3. Phase 3 decomposition starts when the certain kind of anaerobic bacteria, here again anaerobic bacteria phase will be there. Then how it will be start? It will be like starts with the anaerobic bacteria consume the organic acids produced in phase 2 and from acetase and organic acid. This process causes the landfill to become a more neutral environment in which the methane producing bacteria begin to establish themselves. So anaerobic bacteria is like it will be going to consume all the organic acid. It will consume all the organic acid that is produced during the phase 2. In phase 2, whatever the organic acid will be there, that has been consumed by this anaerobic bacteria. And this organic acid produces in phase 2 from the acetate and organic acids. And this process causes the landfill to become more neutral environment in which the methane producing bacteria begin to establish themselves. Phase 4 will be like complete decomposition that begins when the composition and production rate of landfill gas remains relatively constant. So phase 4 landfill gas usually contains approximately 40% to 60% of methane by volume and 40 to 60% of CO2, CH4 and CO2, and 2 to 9% of other gases. So these two gases are the more point of concern because these two gases are the GHG, that is greenhouse gas. So in this way we can see that the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Phase 1 is the aerobic phase. Only phase 1 will be aerobic, otherwise all phase are the anaerobic phase only, because after this what happened in phase 1 only, they will consume all the oxygen, and after that all 3 phase will happen in the absence of oxygen only. So the decomposition from phase 2 to phase 3, and then phase 4 is completely methanogenesis step where the methane production has been there, methane has been produced. So this will be like, you can see that in any landfill, whatever reaction will be carried out inside the landfill will lead to the production of methane and carbon dioxide, and both gases are the greenhouse gases that will be contributing toward the global warming and the climate change. So now what happened, we'll discuss about what are the factors that is influencing the leachate generation. So leachate generation will widely depends upon the age of the landfill, type of the waste composition and environmental condition, and how much old is the landfill, what are the age of the landfill, which type of process is going inside the landfill, aerobic process or anaerobic process, or if it will be a final stage of landfill, then maybe methanogenesis process will be carrying out inside this landfill. So on the basis of the process, on the basis of which type of complex organic compounds will be there, the leachate composition we can see. Then the type of waste, like composition of waste like food waste, dry waste. Then the environmental condition. Environmental condition will lead toward the rainfall of the particular area. Rainfall of the area. What is the rainfall condition of the area? Then factor which influence the generation of leachates. So the factor which influence the generation of leachates is like infiltration of groundwater, then infiltration of leachate into the ground, a potentially pollution of the groundwater, rainfall data like precipitation, and the water from the deposited waste, mainly due to biodegradation process. These are the factor which is influencing the generation of leachate. Infiltration of groundwater, obviously how much leachate will be enters into the groundwater. Next is the infiltration of leachate into the groundwater, like this will be a source of potential, this will be a potential source of pollution. Then the rainfall like precipitation, waters from the deposited waste, mainly due to biodegradation process. So waters from the deposited waste, which type of waste has been deposited due to the degradation of the whole biodegradation process. See, this is the schematic scheme of how leachate has been generated. So how the leachate has been generated in a landfill. So rainfall will be there. You can see this is the rainfall. So rainfall water will be coming onto the landfill sites. So during the infiltration, percolation will be there. Then the moisture content of the waste and leachate escape to the environment. Here the leachate is entering the groundwater. Then water will be go out from the surface runoff, and then interception of evaporation by the vegetation. Okay, some evaporation will also there. Evaporation will be there. This is the surface runoff. Through surface runoff also leachate will be going, and through the percolation into the groundwater, leachate escape to the groundwater. So by the process of percolation and surface runoff, this leachate will enters to the environment. So what are the important factors that will be affecting the quality of leachate? First is the refuse composition. Means what are the composition, like the quality variation is higher the putrescible waste or for non-putrescible waste. Putrescible means biodegradable or non-biodegradable waste. Elapsed time. Leachate quality vary with time. In general, over quality of leachate generated in 1 year will be less strong than the subsequent years. Ambient temperature. The ambient temperature affects both bacterial growth and chemical growth. The ambient temperature will affect the bacterial growth and chemical reactions also. Available moisture. What are the total moisture available? So water play a significant role in the biodegradation and subsequent leaching of chemicals which will be from the waste. Precipitation. The amount of rain falling on landfill influence the leachate quantity significantly. Then what are the landfilling site consideration? So next is the groundwater intrusion. Means sometimes landfill base construction below the groundwater table may increases the quantity, and the moisture content of the waste. Leachate quantity will increases because of own self weight, and the waste release poor water when squeezed. So the groundwater intrusion and then moisture content of the waste all will connected with the leachate generation and the leachate quantity. So these are the references of the textbook that you can follow for the further study of these topics. And now at this point I'm concluding my lecture. I have discussed about the leachate generation and what are the reaction that is carried out inside a landfill site. So first of all, when oxygen will be there, then that time aerobic condition will be created, and after that all phases will be like anaerobic condition will be there, and from anaerobic condition the decomposition will leads toward the methanogenesis process. So in the methanogenesis process, methane production will be there, and that methane production will be like that methane is a more as compared to CO2. And during the rainy season, what happened, this waste, when some toxic waste from the toxic chemicals from the waste will percolate into the groundwater to the surface runoff or to the groundwater, and that will enters into the groundwater or to the surface runoff. It will enters into the nearby river or nearby canals. So in this way, the leachate generation from the municipal landfill site is a very much point of concern, and that leachate will infect the groundwater and the local environment condition of the particular place. So thank you for today's lecture.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.